Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to a chilly Christie Park for tonight's Round 7 clash in the Australia Cup preliminaries. Two teams who've become perennial participants at this stage of the competition. Spirit FC hosting Sydney United 58. The second straight season they've met in a fixture to decide which club qualifies for the national round of 32 draw in a month's time. Always entertaining encounters between these two, so wherever you are, whoever you are supporting, strap in and enjoy the ride. Alex Bolchinoff along with you for the coverage tonight on the Football New South Wales and Football Australia YouTube live tabs. Let's take you to the teams because there's some important changes for both. Northwest Sydney Spirit didn't have any action on the weekend, a washout here against the Sutherland Sharks, but they line up like this after defeating Sydney Olympic 3-1 in extra time this time last week. In goal again, number 1, Chris Marquez. Number 36, Kaya Williams, will move out to right back to accommodate the return of number 16, Ante Buckmarsh, alongside number 3, Kyle Shaw in the centre of defence. Number 13, Simon Nicholas, the left back. Midfield 3 of number 20, Jared Lum. Number 4, Jared McKinley. And number 10, Michael Conestabbo, the other inclusion tonight. Number 7, Richie Darko starts off the right with number 19, Jesse Michelle up front. Sydney United 58, one change from the side that threw away a 2-goal lead against Wollongong down in the Illawarra on Sunday afternoon. They line up like this. Number 1 is Oliver Kalatz in goal. A back 4 of number 21, Dejan Bakadanakoski. Liam McGing, number 4, Adrian Vlastelica, and number 7, Jordan Ivancic. Number 6, Adam Zervas in from the start, alongside number 5, Anthony Tomilich, number 15, Tarek Maya, and number 10, Carlos de Oliveira, number 8, Shunta Nakamura. Partners number 9, Patrick Anselmi up front. And it is Anselmi who gets us underway in this all-important fixture. It's become a bit of a rivalry. It started all the way back in 2022. I say all the way back only because they've met so many times since that Waratah Cup final, which Spirit upset Sydney United to create history and become the first club from outside the New South Wales top tier to claim that trophy. United have made history of their own in this competition over the past few seasons. They become the first side from outside the A-League since its re-inception to qualify for the final before getting redemption in the Waratah Cup final of 2023 against Apia Leichhardt at Leichhardt Oval last year. And more than the importance of the games has been the entertainment they've provided both in League and Cup over the past couple of seasons. They're slated to meet down in Sydney Southwest next Wednesday in a league fixture. But this is the one that will mean that little bit more with that final place in the Australia Cup draw. Up for grabs, Spirit looking for a little bit of revenge for last season's knockout at this same stage where they fell 2-0 to United down at Adenza Park, and they've got an early opportunity from a free kick here. Jared Lum over it. Spirit have been effective from set pieces over the last couple of weeks. That was in towards Shaw. Wigan battling for it and a little overzealous in his attempts to win the ball back off Carlos de Oliveira, who wins his team the free kick. Quick start to this one. We didn't expect anything less. Here's Adam Zervas, who's been largely used off the bench since his move from the Newcastle Jets. He's impressed in his couple of appearances off the bench lately for Zeljko Kalatz, who's without a number of first-teamers again tonight. Lots of his young starts as well. You talk about Aiden Milicevic, who's still suffering from a hamstring injury. Bailey Rule out with a knee knock, or a bit more than a knock for Bailey. And he's going to miss a couple of months of action by the looks of things, and Matt Hatch still not fit to start again yet. He's building a resume as one of the best left backs in the competition before he went down with injury. In their round 6 win over Wollongong United. Both teams, funnily enough, have had to play all their fixtures in this competition away from home to this point. Spirit getting their first taste of home soil in the Cup this season. Sydney United going to have to go the hard way if they are to return to an 8th straight, well, not an 8th straight, but an 8th in total round of 32 place, which is a record for teams outside the A-League who have to go through this preliminary process. Might of tonight's clash is doubling as a Waratah Cup quarter-final as well, and that's a piece of silverware that has played a big part in United's history, particularly hold the equal record number of wins of that competition with 7, along with Hakoah. Spirit, of course, won it back in 2022. That's one of only 2 pieces of silverware they boast in their trophy cabinet. Over an NPL 2 championship coming back in 2015. Spirit had to do it the hard way in there. Well, in fact, both teams did. Came from behind in their round 6 fixtures. Jared McKinley getting his first goal of the season. Just under 20 minutes to play against Olympic at Belmore last week. Before they went on to win the game in extra time. Jesse Michelle scoring for the penalty spot before Noah Peacock continued to have a telling influence off the bench. He's Spirit's top scorer in this competition so far this season with 3 goals. 2 telling ones against Dulwich Hill in round 6. He features on the bench again today. But Spirit don't need him at the moment. They've started brightly. Jesse Michelle has drifted out to the left-hand side. Can he sum it all up? He only found the imposing figure of Liam McGing. It was such an uncharacteristic performance that second half on Sunday against Wollongong. And Zervas has been brought in to provide some energy, but he's conceded the free kick here. Simon Nicholas always lively down the left. In fact, that was Mikey Conestabro getting over. He's slowly returning from a long-term injury. Was critical in that game against Olympic last week as well, and sees himself in from the start tonight. Big part of getting Spirit promoted. Scored in that Waratah Cup final back in 2022, of course, as well. Patrick Antelmi having to go back to do the defending there from Jared Lum's initial free kick. And referee Jake Rose, well, he was caught in 2 minds about where he was going to award that decision. I think the players almost led him to a corner kick. Lum ready to swing another early ball into the United area. This is a fairly easy one to deal with for Kalatz. He's played every minute of United's campaign across both competitions so far this season, League and Cup. He's making the move back to Australia to play under his father, Zelko. Bakadanakoski for Zervas. Well, something we wondered was whether Zervas would move into a midfield 3. That's where he's typically been deployed over his young career, but Kalatz has persisted with a 4-man midfield today, with Zervas starting off the right, De Oliveira off the left. They're both players that are central midfielders, certainly through their developmental years, so are more than comfortable on the ball. Just gives United a little bit more attacking thrust, and in fact Zervas is going to have to do a bit of defending today up against Ollie Wigan, who will push him forward all night with Nicholas overlapping. Richie Darko's coming down the right. He and Vlastelica have clashed plenty of times down the years. Not the first time we'll see them butt heads metaphorically tonight. Ball in towards Conestabro. Zervas is back there to do the defending. The returning Ante Bakmaj, of course, spent last season at Sydney United before making the move up north. He's returning from a facial injury. You can see him wearing the mask, protective mask on his face tonight. He'll be important in the way that Spirit build up their attacks, as well as dropping in to defend alongside Kyle Shaw. And that's a third early corner here for Spirit FC. Kyle Shaw's made a habit of scoring from these situations over the past few weeks. He's in amongst the forest of bodies surrounding Oliver Kalatz. No prizes for guessing where this ball's about to be fired in. It's right towards Kyle Shaw. Kalatz didn't make an overly convincing job of it, and one of his teammates has had to nod it behind for a second corner. United already having conversations with the assistant tonight, Alessandro Lana, on the near side about they feel is some blocking off and some dark arts to try and get this early goal. Going to have to do it all again. That's a 5th corner by my count already. We're not even past the 9-minute mark of this one. Darko to do it all again. Those bodies surrounding Kalatz again. It's deep towards Lum, who's certainly not the biggest target for Spirit in that penalty area. Did well to make something of it, but couldn't direct his effort back on target. This has been a fixture full of goals recently in the league last year. They played out a 3-2. What a dramatic night that was here. And Telmy's trying to catch Marcus out! Patrick Anselmi's brilliant season continues with a moment of magic to give United first blood in this all-important cup tie. A moment of magic opportunism from Patrick Anselmi. That's his 8th goal in the Cups already this season. He's had a fantastic year in both League and Cup, despite spending some time out early through suspension. But he is looking as sharp as ever. And United are already in a running battle with the officiating team as well. This is going to be a tasty one. Don't worry about that. I promise you action. And in the first 10 minutes, it's already delivering. Tomalich with a characteristic moment, just knocking the ball out of play without too much pressure around him. Patrick Anselmi, a name synonymous with goals in both the Australia FFA Cup, NPL, whatever you like. If there are goals to be scored, he will find them. A brilliant moment to light up this round 7 tie in its early stages. Nakamura turning and darting through the defence and brought down rather cynically by McKinley. Spirit started brightly, but that goal has put them right on the back foot. United have made a habit of bright starts this season. They've had a couple of come from behind victories, but have looked fairly comfortable with the exception of Sunday in holding on to leads that they've created early. Spirits have made a habit in this competition of coming back. They had to do that against Dulwich Hill in the round 6 tie. They had to do it, as I mentioned, last week against Sydney Olympic out at Belmore. This is a situation they're not unfamiliar with. They'll keep moving the ball adventurously. Ollie Wigan will be happy to run at defenders as he's done here. Dangerous area and couldn't be stuck in. Big chance to equalise for Mikey Contestavo. You'd almost put your house on often when he's in those situations. Mentioned in the opening 10 minutes about the threat that Ollie Wigan will offer down the left. You just saw a glimpse of it there. His running power and directness is a massive headache for defences up and down the league. United have got a terrific strike force of their own. They're looking to activate it early. Nakamura for Bakadanikoski. Don't have to worry about either team coming out in a slow manner tonight. United looking for some redemption after that disappointing loss on the weekend. Spirit without a game of football in a week, which is unusual at this stage for teams playing cup competitions. They're full of fresh legs and confidence, looking to go 3 matches on the trot with wins for the first time this season tonight. Their form's been steadily improving over the course of the year. And Telmy again darting and weaving between players. De Oliveira looking to square on his less favoured left. Such a 2-footed player, Carlos De Oliveira. You can often not tell which is his favoured one. It's always going to be a difficult task to steer that one back into the middle, off balance, and with the byline bearing down on it. This is what Spirit have been looking to do more and more over the course of the season. They struggled to get hold of the football, struggled to create chances early in the year. The goals have started to flow over the last month or so. Going to need, well, at least one tonight, probably two now to win the tie. I'll say fancy going 120 minutes, which I'd say neither team does. Adrian Vlastelica, such a terrific reader of the game. He's pretty clever about winning his side free kicks in his own half as well. Just taking his time to recover his footing here. That one might have hurt him a little more than it first appeared. Hope you're enjoying the coverage across the Football New South Wales and Football Australia YouTube pages tonight. We've got one concurrent game running. Phoenix FC of the Eastern Suburbs Football Association down at Illingdon Sports Centre taking on Rockdale tonight. They took the lead early in that one. In fact, inside the first minute, they trail 4-1 as that game moves towards half-time. Rockdale, of course, leading the NPL New South Wales men's table at the moment, just past the midway stage of the season. Good direct ball from Zervas. Nakamura. For his partner in crime, Anselmi, who just couldn't bring it under his spell. Jesse Michel's a big physical boy up front, but he's going to have a tough task holding off the attention of McGing and Vlastelica tonight. Nakamura looking to get a shot away. Jared Lum did well. He was diligent in his work defensively, getting back to track the run and block the shot. Nice little 1-2 between McKinley and Michel. That's opened up some space for Richard Darko on the right-hand side. He's a left-footed player, remember. He was looking to scoop that one in towards Cottestavo. That was the combination that did Sydney United in the Waratah Cup final of 2022. Both got on the score sheet in a 2-1 victory. Chris Payne's late penalty that day, not enough. Chris Payne was really the one giving Spirit headaches over the course of the last 2 years in this fixture. Of course, no longer at the club. He's since departed down to Backstown City of League One. And tell me, the one retains his form this season, which he just showcased with the early goal, has been absolutely terrific. Ante Bakmaj looking perhaps for a little taste of revenge against his old club. He just got knocked off his feet there, and then Anselmi running away from Jared McKinley, who brought him down. That's his second challenge through midfield. He's got to be careful, McKinley. More worrying for David Pergovic in the immediate is that Sydney United have got another decent shooting opportunity about 25 yards out from this set piece. Couple over it, Tarek Maya and Carlos de Oliveira is in good goal scoring form himself. Got the opener on the weekend against Wollongong. It looks as though it's going to be he to line up here. Got by required height, but not the required dip to get it back down under Chris Marquez's crossbar. Alex Molchanov joining you tonight. The first 17 minutes of this one have flown by. Been played at a terrific intensity, as we saw in the Apia Leichhardt against Marconi d'Italia last night. Apia winning through 2-1 after extra time. Thoroughly engaging encounter. Was lucky enough to be out there at Lambert Park last night as well, amongst the fans. Apia into the round of 32 for the second straight year for them as well. Is Simon Nicholas. What's of Apia Leichhardt? Wigan darting in off the left, on his right. Bakmaj looking to turn and have a shot. Lum was just sticking out a boot to try and Give United's defence something else to think about. Sloppy touch from Anselmi, and similar can be said of the challenge that followed it. Brings down his former teammate. So it's in a flurry of these set pieces for Spirit in the opening stages. Not been able to make one count just yet. Put Kalatz under any real pressure. It's always difficult to sort of dink these balls in. Lum did a pretty good job of it, and he's got it back. Looking to bend it back on target. Didn't quite get the spin he was looking for on the curve. But promising signs for Spirit, whose directness is troubling United somewhat. Wollongong gave them the template on Sunday. Used Lachlan Scott superbly. He's managing to take, on occasion, both of the centre-halves out of the game as Wollongong built their attacks. Be careful they don't fall into the same trap tonight, because Michelle is a very similar sort of player. Not quite as tall as Scott, but certainly is happy to get involved in the physical battle. Zervas trying to use his pace against the much larger framed Bakmaj. Lost out initially and then conceded the free kick. Jake Rose and his refereeing team have a fair bit to deal with in the early stages as well. There's plenty of feeling about this one. You've heard the saying, familiarity breeds contempt. That's probably one you can apply to this fixture. Certainly there's a heightened competitiveness about it when these two have met over the past couple of years in League and Cup. 7 meetings over the past 2 years, including this one. And an 8th to be played on Wednesday night, as I mentioned a little bit earlier as well. Next Wednesday, that is. Wigan getting it off Jared Lum, who's been impressive early. Wasn't able to make lemonade out of the lemons he was provided. Tell me sticking a boot in rather dangerously. It's fallen for Spirit in any case. McKinley's got a little bit more space in front of him, but no one out wide. Bakmaj did nicely to shrug off Nakamura and find Nicholas. Trying to measure one towards Michelle, and well claimed by Kalatz, who was confident off his line. It's an area of his game he's been looking to improve. Terrific shot stopper, Oliver Kalatz, but there's one criticism of his goalkeeping at times. It's his command of his area. Didn't show any sort of hesitation in coming for that ball. Bakadanakoski's another player who doesn't mind getting involved in the physical battles. So centre-half through the majority of his development at Sydney FC. That's his nicely worked by Spirit FC, and Contestavo's there again. That's a couple of chances for Michael Contestavo in the early stages. Spirit continuing to create problems amongst the United defence, though. And Kalatz is more vocal than I have to say I've seen him all year. A little bit of worry creeping into his instructions to his players, despite the 1-goal advantage given to them by Patrick Anselmi inside 10 minutes. Darko. He's breezing past players. That's how he was when he was at his pomp. Richard Darko. Showing a flash of it there. He's continued his run to get it off Wigan. Drawn Nakamura all the way back with him. Nicholas for Wigan. Nice ball for Contestavo again. He's causing all sorts of issues, isn't he, Michael Contestavo? United might have counted themselves lucky that they haven't had to face him, really, since that Waratah Cup final back in 2022. The way he started this match, oh, they would have loved to have him. Long throw from Lum towards Shaw. Nodded on. Eventually nodded away by United, but not clear. And Anselmi having to go through the back of Jared McKinley. In fact, it was Conestabile who got his body in the way again. Another set piece for Spirit. Surely you have to think that they'll take one of these opportunities if United continue to concede them around the edge of their penalty area. Their last league game against Sydney FC, all their 3 goals in that 3-1 win were off the back of set-piece situations. Drummed up another one for themselves here, so some calculations for Kalatz to do in setting up his 4-man wall. Looks as though it's going to be Ollie Wigan over this one. Lum is standing there in a supervisory role. But it is Ollie Wigan over the free kick, and it gave Kalatz plenty to think about. A sharp save from the United keeper, diving away to his right. It's one of those players with such wonderful technique, Ollie Wigan, when striking those dead balls. Ball was almost so far down that it was bouncing in front of Kalatz. Lum to deliver the resulting corner. And this one almost reached Bakmaz. Conestabile into a crowd of bodies again. And a couple of half-hearted appeals for handball, which are waved away by referee Rose. So United with the early lead, but certainly far from in control of this match. As we hit the halfway mark in this first half. It's been thoroughly engaging. It's raced by. One with a touch for Darko. And again, Spirit launching another attack through Wigan. Servas so watchful in his defensive work. Mentioned that terrific record that United have got in the Cups over the last couple of years. Most of that under Miro Vlastolica, who's here in attendance again tonight. Fantastic to see. His son, Adrian, of course, captaining the sides again this season. Conestabile's found a pocket of space again, and he's looking to duck in on his right. Brilliant save from Kalatz. A couple of times in a couple of minutes. First from the free kick, and then from a wonderful bit of individual work from Conestabile. Pressure building and building on United's defence. Going to be into double figures for corners before the half-hour mark here, Spirit. Jared Lum firing in another one. This time he goes deep. Bakmaz was blocked off as he tried to make his run towards goal. It was you could say, a savvy piece of defending from young Jordan Ivancic.
It's got to be driven in. It's too fucking much height.
Apologies if you do pick up any of David Perkovic's comments on the broadcast tonight. He's a vocal coach. Can be colourful on occasion.
Counter movements here. Look at the space holes.
Simon Nicholas. Conestabile slipping at the crucial moment. Nicholas trying to recover for his teammate. He did brilliantly to get back in between Zervas, at least hold him up. He did better than that. Won the ball as well. Been a terrific addition since signing for Spirit on their promotion. Barely missed a minute over the past couple of seasons. One of the first names on David Perkovic's team sheet every week. United just trying to slow the tempo, stop having to absorb such constant waves of attack, which Spirit have continued to build through this first half. The frustrating factor is that they haven't hit the score sheet yet, courtesy of a couple of very good saves from Kalatz. You can see his father Zelko picks up the ball there, that he is less than impressed with what he's seen in the last 15 minutes or so. All that since Patrick Anselmi's brilliant goal, which broke the deadlock tonight. Just his 8th in the competition in 4 games this season. Cottestavo looking to strike back, and Richard Darko, usually so sure of touch, might have been thinking a step too far ahead. United trying to go on the counter. This is an arrow they've added to their bow this season under Kalatz. It's been quick in transition. Maya. And Telmi looking for a telling pass. De Oliveira was making the run in behind. Danger not averted for Spirits. It's Ivancic's ball in. Bakmaj there to do the clearing. Bakadana-Koski heading it back forward. Jared Lum with the coolest head of all to find Michelle. He's been in good goal-scoring touch in his first season with Spirit. Over the past couple of weeks, Richard Darko wins the free kick just short of halfway. Mixed bag for Carlos de Oliveira on Sunday. Opened the scoring inside a minute before nodding into the back of his own net. It's very unfortunate getting to a ball at the front post. Really started Wollongong's comeback. The performance after that merited all 3 points, but wonder how much impact that had. Wigan was, well, it was half cross, half short, you think. Or half shot even. Kalatz has had plenty of work since Sydney United went ahead. Telmi flying into the challenge and winning it. Too many yellow shirts ahead of him, not enough red ones. We'll bring you the full slate of substitutes available to both coaches tonight when we get an opportunity, a stoppage in play in this first half. Alex Mortinoff with you on the Football New South Wales and Australia, Football Australia YouTube pages tonight. Winner of this game going through to the Australia Cup Round of 32 draw, where the A-League clubs join the party. Winners will also be through to a semi-final of the Waratah Cup in New South Wales football. Shaw just dragging down and tell me as he looked to flick it off to Carlos de Oliveira. Battle of youth and experience between those two tonight. Kyle Shaw, still just 19 years of age. He's picking up plenty of experience in the back line of Spirits, well, at the heart of Spirits defence, I should say. Giving out Grant Cornwall for the moment, one of the club legends. Darko squaring for Michelle. And still Richard Darko goes. And Liam McGing is forced to knock the ball over his own byline. Another Spirit corner in this first half. There's been countless. Needing to make one count. Spirit have deserved a goal for their work in the last 20 minutes or so. They've been the dominant force since going behind. Richard Darko to deliver. It's towards Shaw, got a free header. And another chance goes begging for Spirit. A little bit lax in their defensive work there as well, Sydney United. No one near Kyle Shaw as he attacked that football. The way this game is going, it's only going to be a matter of time. But that's the fun of football. One chance down the other end with strike weapons like Shunta Nakamura and Patrick Anselmi in the penalty area. Sydney United don't need too many opportunities to make the opposition pay. Bakmaj. Probably the best travelled player across New South Wales football. Bring you the whole rundown of his travels over the course of a decade-long career, but might take up the remainder of the first half. Such is the length of his CV. One rather fresher to this level of football. He's young Kaya Williams, who got the assist for McKinley's equaliser a week ago at Olympic. He's in at the centre of defence, I should say, in the absence of Bakmaj, pushing out to right fullback tonight. Marquez not exactly tidy in his distribution. Nicholas did brilliantly to win the header ahead of Tomalic. Now there's space for Spirit again. Conestabo just slowing the tempo. Bakmaj trying to raise it. Williams. He's got a gorgeous right foot, and how about the weight on that pass for Richard Darko? Just got him there in front of Vlastelica, who he faces up now. Still manages to get the cross in, and Lum trying to make something of it again. A couple of headed chances for Jared Lum in this first half, only half chances really. United have just re-established a foothold in this game, which they lead. Spirit are still coming in waves of attack. We didn't see anything like this last week against Sydney Olympic in that round 6 encounter. Koski came from a long way to try and make a challenge there for that one. It's fallen for Spirit. Wigan might have tried to be a little too clever. Nicholas was alive to the danger offered by the press of Antelmi. McKinley. Wigan trying to get it back from this long ball. He's beaten Zervas to it. Lum in support. How's his cross? Not bad. Half away by Vlastelica and belted back in by Bakmaj. Never really threatening Kalatz's goal there. Round of 32 on the line. Sydney United were 2-0 winners at the same stage a year ago down at Adenza Park on another cold Wednesday night from memory. Goals that night came from the now departed Matthew Bilic and the still around Christian Gonzalez. He's on the bench again tonight. Came off the bench that day to seal United's place in the round of 32. Take them a step closer to the Waratah Cup that they'd end up winning. There's been a bit of rotation from that squad. Talking about that Australia Cup final squad that took on MacArthur. There's just 6 remaining at the club from the team that night. And tell me one of them, but he came off the bench. Ones that do remain. You heard the call of Tomo. That's talking about Anthony Tomalic. Midfielder Tarek Meyer, his midfield partner today. Adrian Vlastelica was the other starter remaining from that night. Spirit have started to go a little more direct in their attacks, which I don't think is particularly pleasing David Perkovic. Sydney United just can't keep hold of the ball to save their lives at the minute. Misplaced passes galore. So they try to get out of their own half. They can't manage it. Have a 1-goal buffer to defend though. Darko just drifting around and finding space deep and high and giving options for the players behind him. Different challenges for young Jordan Ivancic, who's his direct opponent tonight. Shaw. Rare misplaced pass from him. Once again, Sydney United not really able to capitalise on the turnover.
Concentrate on those 6 seconds after we lose them.
Nicholas conducting as he brings the ball forward. McKinley. This is more like we saw in the 10 or 15 minutes after conceding the goal from Spirit. Moving the ball quickly. Players moving off the ball to getting good positions. Wigan. Conestabo in that pocket again. This time Tomalic was alive to it. Slides in with Bakmaj, who was... Well, I don't know what he was turning around for. He's the first name in Jake Rose's notebook tonight on his return to the starting side. He's never backing out of the challenge. Tomalic, not exactly a fiery character, but he doesn't look best pleased about that one.
Hey, Arte, let it go. Let it move on.
Buckmudge now offering a hand of apology to his former teammate. It's just bubbled under the surface nicely. The tension in this game. You can see how much it means to both sets of players to try and get back on the national stage. It's somewhere Sydney United have been so often since the reintroduction of the Australia Cup back in 2014. 10th edition we're celebrating this year. United have been involved on the national stage in 7 previous occasions. Spirit have just done the once. They only managed to play 1 game in a year they made it all the way to the Waratah Cup final. Were knocked out in the round of 32 by Peninsula Power of NPL Queensland. United would go on to beat them. Controversial game, that one, in the quarter-final. Courtesy of a belting goal from Yanni Fragoyanis. Here's Ollie Wigan, darting forward. Connor Starbo was just a little bit pressed in his touch. De Oliveira was clever initially, but lost out to Kaya Williams. Really does show a maturity beyond his years, the youngster. It's a bit of a Sydney United connection there, which I'll get to when the time is right. Darko, back for Williams. Technique honed at the football school of one of the best ever to do it at this level in Glenn Trefiro. It's part of his Football Tech Academy. Sydney United 58 legend, of course. Trefiro, still involved at a junior level, along with his brother Jason. Curling ball in from McKinley, which wasn't too far away from Jesse Michelle. You wonder if he'd anticipated a little better the striker, whether he might have got there. Connor Starbo for Wigan. Spirit continue to come in waves. Lovely little reverse ball as well from Wigan for Nicholas. And there's a runner at the back post. It's Jared Lum, who didn't make any contact with the ball. A complete air swing. And now Spirit have got to retreat because United can carry the ball forwards. Ivancic was looking for De Oliveira, and it's just not happening for United coming out of their own half. 5 minutes to go to the break, and Zelko Kalats might be glad that the safe haven the dressing room offers him at the moment. His team are having to hold on gamely to this 1-0 lead given to them by their star striker Anselmi. They added a second to be a real kick in the teeth. Nakamura in a foot race with Nicholas, who did well to sweep up the danger. That's the quality that Tarek Meyer offers. I've hardly called his name in this first half, but such a beautiful passer of the football. Just a little opening like that can turn into a very dangerous opportunity in a matter of a moment. Ivancic up slowly to take the throw. Bounces straight back to it. De Oliveira. Simo, you got two! Dancing feet, and there were some United appeals for a penalty kick. Don't know whether, even if it had been a foul, whether it would have been in the area or not. De Oliveira himself wasn't particularly animated in his shouts to referee Jake Rose. Tomalic for Bakadanakoski. Nicholas continuing the press that was started by Wigan, but United have played around that initial phase of it. Kalats calling out to his team. He wants the ball moving forward quickly, and it's just not quite connecting for them at the minute. How about the turn from Tarek Meyer, though? And then he strides away from Connor Starbo. Advantage play by Rose. And still they can't get it off Tarek Meyer. Superb. Bakadanakoski, he's looking a little frazzled at the moment, the United right back. Defensive work's been near faultless, but he's not the only one who's had problems playing out so far tonight. Spirit have done well to stop the ball getting to Adrian Vlastelica, who's so often the conductor from the back for Sydney United in their attempts to play out. He's been offered very little time and space. Adam Zervas has been so impressive in this first half. Wins another ball off Wigan. Nakamura. Tomalic. Meyer and Vlastelica very much the heartbeat of the United side. Playing the ball between them there. Tomalic seeing more and more of the ball as the deepest lying midfielder. De Oliveira's drifted over to the right to try and get on the ball. Lum sweeping up the danger initially. Again, Marquez just hoisting it high into the air. And Tomalic going into Michelle. Both sets of benches getting into both their players and the officials. Zervas. Just a shift of the body weight to get himself clear of Conestabo. Clips his heels and brings him down. Sydney United just need to continue to try and slow the tempo. Get to halftime with this goal advantage. Patrick Antelmi from scoring from near inside his own half. Only goal of the match so far. Ivancic for Tarek Meyer, who's got space. Changes passes with Antelmi. Bakmaj has seen that plenty of times. Stepped in at the perfect moment to intercept the return ball. And Jake Rose says there's no time to be added on in the first half. And you have to agree with him. There's hardly been a stoppage. A frantic opening 45 minutes. Sydney United took advantage of that open nature very early. Patrick Antelmi with a brilliant bit of opportunism and a perfect piece of technique to catch Chris Marquez off his line and give Sydney United the lead away from home. Spirit dominated the period after that, forcing a couple of good saves from Kalatz, but unable to beat him. And so at the break as the teams head to the sheds in this qualifier for the Australia Cup round of 32. It's Spirit FC 0, Sydney United 58-1. Yes, and welcome back to Christie Park, the second half of this round 7 Australia Cup preliminary tie between Spirit FC and Sydney United about to get underway. Sydney United taking the lead through a spectacular Patrick Antelmi strike inside the first 10 minutes. Spirit have been on top in terms of chances created since then, forcing a couple of good saves out of Oliver Kallatz in United's goal, but unable to find a way past him. Sydney United will need to wrestle back the momentum if they're to hang on. Spirit trying to dig out a third straight come from behind victory in this competition if they're to advance to the round of 32 for just the second time. And there's been a change for Zelko Kallatz as he tries to turn the tides here in the second half. Christian Gonzalez, who was the hero, if you like, in this fixture at the same stage last season, scoring a game-sealing second goal off the bench, is on at the break. Just confirm who has been the player removed by Kallatz in what's a bit of an eyebrow-raising half-time substitution. Gonzalez looking as though he's slotted into the middle of defence, so Kallatz has gone to a back three as he tries to hang on to this 1-0 lead. Spirit had awaited chances, possession territory after going behind. Jared Lum having a couple of good opportunities. Michael Conestablo having the best of them though. Player usually so assured in front of goal, not able to take advantage of either of them. And you wonder if Spirit will come back to rue those missed opportunities from the first half. As it sits, United up by a goal to nil, chasing an 8th appearance in the Australia Cup round of 32. And they've got an early chance to try and double their lead here. Free kick blown their way on the far side. Fairly easily dealt with by Spirit. Alex Molchanov along with you for all the coverage tonight on the Football New South Wales and Football Australia YouTube live pages. Thank you for your company. So we bring you the second 45 minutes, and if it's required, all of extra time and potentially penalty kicks. Spirit are making a good fist of this game. Just needing that precious equaliser to really send this game into a full spin. Hardly time for us to take a breath in the first half, which was the frantic nature of the action in front of us. Spirit will be hoping it continues that way because that offers the best chance for them to get back in the game. McKinley and tapped in! No flag, and Ante Bakmaj pops up against his old team to get the equaliser. Barely 2.5 minutes into the second half, and Spirit get their just rewards. The tide of turns, hits the goal, and now Spirit have a goal to show for it. A collector's item, he doesn't get too many. Ante Bakmaj, right place, right time. It's his second goal in this cup run, 4th goal in all competitions this season. He's popping up more and more often high up the pitch. That was a striker's finish, really. Had a bit to do. It came to him at a good pace. And now Sydney United have really got to try and swing the pendulum back in their favour. They've been right on the back foot since going ahead. As I said, Spirit have trailed in both their last 2 games in this competition. Had to come from behind against Dulwich Hill. It was a substitute that day that did it, Noah Peacock. The game that was affected by rain was actually rained off with about 10 minutes to go in normal time. They had to come back and play the rest of that final 10 minutes before playing extra time. Peacock got a goal in that period as well. Spirit trying to continue this impressive cup run. Sydney United trying to keep their impressive record in this competition going. They're right on the back foot here. Lovely feet from Williams, and then a promising ball which flashes across the face of goal. Just no yellow shirt close enough to it. One with a gorgeous touch to bring it down. Might have been a hint of an arm helping him. Conestablo not able to wrangle it off his chest. Well, doesn't that set this game up beautifully? That goal for Spirit FC, certainly from a neutral point of view.
Organised, Kaya, organised.
De Oliveira is a maker of lost causes, and Marquez was feeling the pressure as he bore down on him. Fortunately for him, the miscue didn't mean too much, and Darko's trying to get in behind. Kalat's having to play sweeper. Keeper-to-keeper stuff at Christie Park. Lovely touch from Conestabo for Williams, and now Darko. Can Richie Konjac knocks it back for Conestabo, and again to Darko. Now Conestabo can make the forward run. Beats the ball to the byline. Oh, it was a clever attempt from Michel. Just didn't make the contact he was looking for. Cannot emphasise enough the difference in the football we're seeing tonight and lately from Spirit versus where they were early in the season. The first two games of the year were 0-0 draws. They look at different sides. And now it's Wigan darting inside. Stretching for it to try and get there ahead of McGing. Stilley pursues him. McGing knocked off balance, and Wigan opting to keep the ball in play. Nicholas will get a chance to deliver. He's got a gorgeous left foot. It's just bending behind his attacking players, and now Tomalic is miscuing. It's all going wrong for Sydney United. Usually the most sure-footed player out there, Anthony Tomalic. Hasn't looked it tonight. Buckmuch has lost that protective face mask in the second half. It bore fruit in terms of getting the goal almost immediately out of the break. The former Sydney United player scoring against his old team to bring us level. Rather less spectacular than Patrick Antelmi's effort in the first half that I'm sure you'll be seeing around social media wherever you choose to go. After this game, Sydney United will be hoping it's a happy memory rather than a rueful one. And now it's Jordan Ivancic miscuing on the near touchline. It's a comment I made several times in the first half that United were just struggling to get out of their own half. That pattern is persisting in the second. Wigan did well to keep it in play. He's got Zervas under his nose. Lovely little flip-flap to get past him. And then Vlastelica winning a captain's header. He really needed to get there. Now United need to get out of their own half, but they don't have numbers up the pitch. Having to keep so many back. That looked a pretty well-timed challenge from where we're standing from Vlastelica. Tomalic for Maya. He's looked the coolest head out there for United, and he uses his body very cleverly to win the free kick off Jared McKinley. Took the free kick quickly as well. United looking to up the tempo now. And Tommy got his head to that, but I don't think it was in the manner he intended. Just a moment for everyone to catch their breath. Barely had a moment like this across the entire match so far. Substitution at the break from Zelko Kalatz, which I didn't bring you, was that Dejan Bakadanakoski was the man taken off. Christian Gonzalez has gone into the centre of defence, with McGing taking that place on almost the right side of a back three. Gonzalez in the middle of Vlastelica and McGing, the usual centre-half pairing. As they try to absorb the pressure being piled upon them by Spirit. Williams, Ivancic had his, well, had a fistful of his jersey the whole way up there. Jack Rose has done well to keep a lid on this game because it's had the look of a game which might just boil over. Still might, of course. Plenty of time left on the clock. And so much riding on the result of this game. Shaw for McKinley. Gorgeous switch of play to find Darko. His touch just letting him down a little. Ivancic got a touch to get the ball forward, but only went as far as Williams, and now it's McKinley. Wigan back for Shaw. McKinley again. Darko, who is growing in influence. This time for Contestabo, and slid into the back post by Jared Lum. It's 2-1 Spirit. 2 goals in 10 minutes at the start of the second half. A captain's goal from Jared Lum, sliding into the back post. And finally he takes a chance. Spirit's weight to pressure telling, and now it's Sydney United who've got to get themselves on the comeback trail. Spirit have been irrepressible either side of the break. And so Zelko Kalats will try and change the tempo of this game. An attacking substitution. Young Alessandra Lacalandra, who was on the score sheet on Sunday, brought on. Jordan Ivancic taken off. Straight to a back four after conceding the second goal. Second time in a week that United have had a lead and let it slip. Can they find their way back in? Lacalandra's first touch is almost a shot. Blocked in the nick of time by Spirit's defence. If anyone was under the impression that Spirit would just cruise to a victory, you feel they might have been mistaken. Adam Zervas has been consistently impressive. Of course, as I say that, he turns it over. And then a bad touch from Ante Bakmaj, of all people. Vlastelica. Bakmaj was overzealous in trying to win it back. They're short on numbers here, Spirit. It's Gonzalez. And then sliced away by Mikey Contestabo. Still, Bakmaj is getting back into his defensive shape. Every other Spirit player is back inside the penalty area, ready to defend this corner from Christian Gonzalez. Plenty of red bodies forward as well. It's an outswinger with his left foot, deep towards Anselmi. In fact, it was Vlastelica rising highest. Header only deflected to the edge of the area. Simon Nicholas was striding forward from left full back, and he was brought down in a late challenge by Shunta Nakamura. Free kick from Spirit just to relieve some of the pressure that United had offered since going behind. It has been a topsy-turvy tussle in this round 7 cup tie. An enthralling match to this point. I mentioned the history of goals in games between these two, and it's continued tonight. Nicholas with a couple forward. Less this time, but Shaw has still made his way up, made something of it. Michelle trying to keep the attack alive, and Gonzalez is just forced to hoist the ball out of play. Call for Spirit is to move the ball. Wigan playing it right to Darko. Lum's found a lot of space in the middle, all alone again. Darko's choosing to engage his defender, and Carlos de Oliveira timed his challenge beautifully. Taking their time over this throw. It's all very considered when Spirit get to this area of the pitch. Jared Lum wants a fresh ball. Bit of dew beginning to have an impact on the surface of the artificial pitch here at Christie Park. In towards Shaw is, as always, the plan. Vlastelica won the initial header. Lum launches it back in. That's fairly easy pickings for Kalats. Vlastelica. It's the first real time we've seen him get on his left foot and be able to launch one of those balls forward, and Tommy trying to make something of it. Nakamura couldn't reel it in, and now Marquez will just eat some precious time off the clock. Still the physicality and pace of this game has continued and been so impressive. Just joining us, the score is 2-1. Northwest Sydney Spirit, Ante Bakmaj and Jared Lum getting the goals after half-time. The game Spirit trailed by a 1-0 thanks to Patrick Antelmi's spectacular effort early in the first half. But it's Spirit who've been in the ascendancy in terms of chances and possession and territory since then. A couple of changes by Kalatz and they're seeming to make some sort of impact. Nakamura's been moved wide to the right and he's finding more space and getting on the ball more often. Antelmi. Tomalic for Vlastelica. He's got a goal in him from long range in this competition. Antelmi's got it from shorter and working a shot. Enough Spirit players there to force Antelmi into a snapshot, which Marquez was able to wrangle at his near post. But United, who looked out of the game, copped a punch to the jaw, and it might have just woken them up a little bit. Forced to be more attacking in their thoughts and more progressive in their play. Still half an hour of regular time left to try and find an equaliser. Got to be careful they don't lose the ball in that sort of situation, though. Sloppy touch from De Oliveira. Darko ducking inside Gonzalez. Contestabo. He knew the contact was coming from Carlos De Oliveira and was happy to take the challenge. Spirit will take their time with a 2-1 lead. They're terrific game managers, as much as anything, once they find themselves in a leading position. As I mentioned in the first half, have been pretty proficient from these set pieces. Hasn't done them a lot of good today, but Jared Lum's proficient over the dead ball. Lum taking his time and now delivering. Easy to deal with for Vlastelica. And Antelmi, clever bit of hold-up play. So critical in the way he works to build United's attacks as well as finish them off. Zervas trying to stride away from McKinley. He's been pinged a few times now for fouls like that. He might count himself a touch unlucky that that one was blown, but it's been a build-up off them. Adam Zervas has been persistent down that right-hand side in getting forward and just being a headache for the Spirit, both in attack and defence. He's one inside another attacking free kick in a dangerous position. Gonzalez, since coming on at the break, has been the man to stand over these free kicks. Big bodies forward, Vlastelica. Tomalic in there as well. Lakalandra is no shorty. Maya! Marquez had to be alive at his near post to knock it over the crossbar. And just as it was when United had the lead, Spirit were on top. Now it seems to be in the reverse. In the 5 minutes or so, or 10 minutes now, since Spirit took the lead. Cross from Gonzalez doesn't beat the first defender, but it comes straight back out to him. Now for Tarek Maya. There's still wrestling going on in there, which is not happy, not making the Spirit players happy. Now United fans having half a word about a handball. Another corner will do just fine for United. Forced back into his own net. They can count 4 or 5 United players crowded around him. Gonzalez. Jake Rose was Frustration for United, but better signs since going behind. Nakamura was knocking it forward and to try and attack anything going into the area. Zervas Spirit 25 minutes from a place in the round of the 30.
Drop in, Richie. Drop in.
Maya. Gonzalez had for those sort of situations. Half. Nakamura. Chapsadine are the Jared Lum, who'd come off as